hang on. You utter wrong 'un. So, welcome to the Theatre of the Mind Live 310. I'm just getting myself all settled. It's a beautiful evening. It's kind of one of those. It's a shame it's not a balmy. Oh, hang on. It's not a balmy sort of early summer evening, but what a beautiful evening. If you've had storm dive, then I do. One of my friends sent me a picture of his front garden in Glasgow, and it was full of snow. Not that snow, kind of like icy snow. So it's been a rare old bank holiday weekend so far. And normally, I was thinking this today, why didn't we do some kind of quiz this bank holiday weekend? Well, I'll tell thee. I'll tell thee. I've got something this evening that I'm going to do later about Donald Trump and the Iran conflict. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Now, stay here. I know the people that have got are in early doors, are in the congregation, the parishioners of the body of the kirk, tend to be early till about 7:30. So I will keep mentioning it for those that are coming in late, because it is just it's just going to blow your mind. That's all I'm going to say. Blow your mind. Be here. Make sure you're here for about 8:30, 20 to 9, and I'll explain everything then. So, welcome to the body of the kirk. Remember, the piles cushions are over there because the starmers are a little hard on your derriere. That's why we call them the starmers, because you feel like you've taken a battering in the ring with Mike Tyson. And the altar wine, I know we're going to have to chill it because, well, it was lovely being of room temperature in the do I use that one? Yeah, I'll use that one. In the winter. But now that we're getting into summer, we need to chill it. No ice, sadly. We haven't got ice making machine facilities here in the body of the kirk. And I'm not stumping out even more money. You get free Battenberg and altar wine. And if you'd said I would have bought you a Toblerone Easter egg. Brr, brr. Somebody said in the comments, "Oh, I've just gotten the Toblerone gag." Don't that make me cough, man? Yes, it's returned. It's March, April, so it always returns. What else was I going to tell you? I'll have to wait till Wednesday because obviously it's been a very busy weekend this weekend. Telling the stories of the rabbi that the Roman Empire decided to use as a figurehead for the Roman Empire, because that's what the Catholic Church is, the Roman Empire. So they nicked a rabbi from Nazareth, and he only gets to Christ after he is risen. And I think he got up yesterday because his beer or his mead was feeling a little warm in the. And it's not. Do you know something? I always thought, A, going to Jerusalem, B, going to Egypt was going to be a Betty Swallock's kind of day. I was bloody freezing on the Giza Plateau, and Jerusalem was first time. But there have been times when I've been there and it's been, I say, just a little temperate. So welcome to the body of the kirk. I hope you've had a lovely, lovely, lovely weekend. I hope it's been both chilled. Thank you for being at the body of the kirk last night. It would have been awfully lonely. So thank you for being there last night, and thank you for coming tonight to the body of the kirk before you start making your own gags up. And remember, we've got a live Wednesday. Parish notes at 7:15. Start live at 7:30. But I'm really, really, really looking forward to tonight. I'll just give you a hint of what we're going to talk about. The Royals. Because it's a technical term that we use in radio, but the Royals are in a bit of a pan shite. So we're technical term. Before you start reporting me, you can't report me to Ofcom. And we're going to talk about Beckham. It's me, David. It's like every time I do a live, there is a reason behind I'm doing all of this. And well, David's the usual. He's turned into a media whore. Technical term, obviously, that we use in radio. So we're going to talk about him, them, it. What else we're going to talk about? Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about, benefits. Because, we'll talk about it when we get there, but I genuinely believe that the political classes know that with Starmer in charge of the Labour Party, he's going to kill off Westminster. Him, singularly, killing it off. Oh, talking about killing off. No, I can't go into that, otherwise I will end up in jail. No, I'm not. No, don't encourage me to be naughty again. Every time I'm naughty, I end up in the doo-doo. So, no, I'm not going to explain what killing off means. There are some people that I've talked to who know exactly what I'm talking about, but it would choke me up. Les, don't say anything. I've got my hibiscus. Thank you to Stuart, who's still been on the. I don't know what's going on with the choir boys and Sister Mary. She's been a bit scarce, and the choir boys have been grinning and laughing for some inexplicable reason. I hope it's got nothing to do with the big dog Dick, and the fact that it's double time on Easter Sunday and Monday, so they get at least 4 or 5 Mars bars for any task. Any task. So Des says, notification on looking forward to some clarity in the chaos world in we live. I think I've said that correct, Des. Forgive me. It's been a long day, long life, long paper round. But yes, it's going to be interesting this evening. David Graham says, afternoon, evening, all well. Not a bad day in Sunderland today for Easter Monday, because normally you get rain on a bank holiday. Shall we look at the etymology of bank holiday? It's when the banks who create the wars that kill people take a day off. Banks. Not anybody else, not mine workers, not heavy industry, not steelworks, not the intellectuals at HMRC. No. Banks. It's a bank holiday. Bless them. So there's at least 6 very sweary words, Adrian, Rev, that you couldn't say, that I wish I could say. Bankers. David continues, I was thinking whether to put a wager on this Saturday's Grand National at Aintree or put a bet on the World Snooker Championships at the Crucible Theatre starting in April 18th. Oh, it's a 9-day. Snooker. It's all balls. I mean, it's not the 80s when you had all those characters going snooker loopy, Chaz and Dive. But snooker now? I mean, they used to try and sex it up by saying, oh, so-and-so's got a really sexy bum. Oh, yeah, man, I don't want to see that in me papers. Mind you, what I am seeing in the papers today, jokes. Because obviously they had the B team running journalism yesterday in the national newspapers, but they won't be back in today. So it's not going to be any better tomorrow, but come Wednesday, oi, tsunami of non-information. So cheers, David. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Welcome into the Theatre of the Mind. And who we're going to say hello to? Oh, I see you. David, save your money. It's all fixed. Buy yourself something nice instead. Buy yourself some nice high heels, David. I'm not going to tell you my Grand National story, but I didn't speak to my mother for a fortnight. I don't know about you, but I did a Saturday job-ish. I did a paper round and I did a Saturday job. So, I'm surprised they didn't send me up the bloody chimneys at 13, but they got me out working. And technically, I've worked for over 50 years. Do I not deserve some kind of respite? So I had like a fiver cash, fiver, Blue Note. This is back in, was it 80, 81? And I get a phone call. From an uncle of mine. He says, look, whatever you do, get everything on Ben Nevis. It's sitting at quite high odds. Get everything you've got. I said, well, I've got a fiver. Get it on Ben Nevis. So Ben Nevis didn't run the first year, as far as my memory goes. It didn't run 1 year, so I thought, didn't back that. But then the next year, it was running again, and I said to my mother, I said, "What do you reckon, Mum? I've got a fiver from me paper round and me Saturday job. I just fancy I've been told, and he's normally really accurate. Should I?" And she said, "No, son, you don't see a poor bookie, do you?" And I was like, "Well, no, not really, Mum. I mean, I can't have been any more than." Jesus, I was barely 16, 17. And I kept it in my pocket. She says, keep it in your pocket. Don't give it to the bookies. The bookies always win. You will always lose. The fucking horse romped home at 50 to 1. Well, that was the odds that I would have got. 50 to fucking 1. I looked at her and I said, the fucking horse came home. Now, when I started my apprenticeship, I was getting like £17.50 a week. 50 to 1. It would have been a couple of months' wages. And Austin Mama said, but Adrian, stop swearing, you potty mouth little fucker, and just be thankful that you've still got a fiver in your pocket. I said, a fiver in my pocket? I would have had nearly 300 quid, you're wrong. You still have the money in your pocket. Didn't speak to her for a fortnight afterwards. And ever since then, I've never placed, even though I've had horse races named after me at Nottingham Racecourse, a Nottingham Meet and a Leicester Meet, via a beautiful person at Century 106, Evening David. I've not had any interest in giving me money away. Here, there's a thing there at the bottom of my screen that's appeared. I don't know what to do if I touch it. Stop it! Stop your monkey gags, you wrong'un. So I'll continue with some parish notes. I'm maybe one live. I'll press the button and see what happens, because you know what happens if I get thrown off screen. Evening, I see you. Welcome to the body of the Kirk as always. And Stuart says, evening, Rev. I've got more Easter eggs to get through during the live tonight, so I might be watching whilst swinging off the lights. Dear Lord, are those E numbers going to get you that sugar rush? Stuart, give me the Jägermeister before you get all sugared up, baby. And before I end up on another sugar rush, oh, you see, great minds think alike, Stuart. I must top up the Revs hibiscus with Jägermeister. Yeah, you're wrong'un. Thinking about yourself, and bloody hell. By the way, chuck some chocolate over. I mean, I'm not supposed to. I have had one Easter egg, and my blood sugars are going haywire. I mean, I haven't had chocolate for so long. I gave it up for Lent. What was I thinking? And it's, I mean, we're adults. We should know better. Kids, just feed them the sugar. Feed them the sugar. Jesus, let them run around for 3 or 4 hours. That'll sort the little feggers out. So, Stuart, welcome to the body of the Kirk, young sir. Les Griffiths, well, he's retracted his message. Les, you're ramming. What are you doing? Don't tell anybody about, what did I say? And David, congratulations to Lincoln City for getting promoted to the second tier of English football for the first time in 65 years. Wow, big party in Lincolnshire tonight. Oh, it's many a night I've been out on the lash in Lincolnshire. Well, in Lincoln, the city. With my ninja buddies, we all just decamped into... I remember getting absolutely buckled in Lincoln once with my ninja buddies. We didn't go fighting or anything. We just sat there laughing. I have no idea why either. David, welcome. Les, welcome. How many folks on here have bought any half-price Easter eggs if they have them reduced these days? I haven't, but I will, because I'm going to wait till Monday or Tuesday, where all the big ones are down to like a couple of quid. Supermarkets, at least Dick Turpin wore a mask. And, I mean... What we're supposed to do over Easter weekend, the Passion of the Christ, or, you know, some rabbi, King of the Jews, rabbi, just remember that. The Roman Catholic Church nicked a rabbi, and then said he's ours. And the Jews didn't do anything about it because they're Old Testament. And so the Roman Empire agreed that through the Council of Nicaea that they would have the New Testament, not the Old Testament. No, not the Torah. We'll nick that from the Jews because we nicked their rabbi, so we'll nick their books, and then we'll just call it the Bible, and it'll be in Aramaic and Greek and Latin and not English, and then we'll have to have people over the next 1,000 years translate it from a ploughboy to a king. William Tyndall. Sorry, did I get all nerdy over the Bible there? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look. Sandra, I think, is still in Australia. So I think a good effort for Sandra to be here for one of the lives when she first got there. But to be fair, she's probably having a fantastic holiday. So yeah. Sheffield United losing to Bristol City today. Only just though. Bristol City are a tough team in the Championship. Let me tell you, Sunderland didn't always win against them. Don't. Tom Harney's evening all, as a Roman philosopher once said, all that is now, all that is gone, all that's to come, and everything under the sun. is in tune, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. Is that the moon that Orion spacecraft, or Artemis, of which Orion is part of? I saw Rich's post earlier and I was like, Orion? Better belt up. See what I did there? Fatal Racing Driver says, oh, what a match yesterday. I'm gutted. We got beat in penalties. Here's trying to stay up in the Premiership. Fatal Racing Driver, I do wish West Ham stay up. And, well, Leeds, I think Spurs going to go down. There's only one match in it. I mean, it'll go down to the final day. Whoever wins on the final day will stay in the Premiership, and those that lose, off you go. So, thank you to I See You. My money is on Hollywood making a film about the rescue of the US pilot shot down over Iran. Will they call it Black Hawk Muller down? I can see the sales of Muller yogurt going nowhere. I'm just having a Muller. Say what? Peace be upon him. Oh, yeah. I'm having a double bag of tonight's stew. I've got 2 bags in there because I don't want to look at it. Polly Galtieri and Rich been listening to the live broadcast from Orion spacecraft today. Marvellous. So are we of the opinion, because I did do a video that's up on the channel today, are we of the opinion that it's real and it's, is it fake or is it real? Can't make me mind up, but I had fun making it. Oh, agent provocateur, Rev. So, welcome, Rich. Welcome, Paulie Galtieri. Welcome, I See You. Les Griffiths, I couldn't listen to it, Rich. Had the Moomins on the phone. It seems they're falling out with the clangers. Oh, it's all going to kick off now. Go, NASA. Go, NASA, says Rich. And Andrew James says, could a live stream work? Hang on a second. Could a live stream work in space? The Rev seems to have gremlins on his streams from time to time. I'm not having the bloody clangers on my live streams, can you? Can you imagine? And the Moomins. I wouldn't be able to understand them. Oh, the clangers. Right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Body of the Cook. Shall we get into it? Shall we start and speak to the nations? And shall we? Well, give me 90 minutes and I'll give you the world. That's the deal. Phil the Van, I'm not fussed on chocolate, but love a sticky bun. Is that before or afterwards, Phil? You know what I'm talking about, you mucky tart. I'm not. Or maybe it's just me, Phil the Van. Aldi's do a pack of 2 cinnamon buns. They're very good sticky buns. I bet you can't wait to get your face in them, Phil the Van. Just the 2? Not that I'm greedy. Oi, oi, oi. Matt Whedon, it's Sexton Blake. Excuse me. Welcome, Matt Whedon, Stephen Hall. Happy Easter Monday. Happy Easter Monday to you, Damon. Welcome to the Body of the Kirk. Des, how did the plumber get to Artemis capsule in order to fix the space? Kazi, can you imagine? Did you hear that? Yeah, there's only 4 of us here. Is it Deliveroo? No, that's Pizza Hut. I've come to fix your toilet. Oh, what, man? She's not got her clothes on. And we've got a bag strapped to... No. Right, shall we get on with the Simon this evening? So that's Parish Notes. Welcome to everybody. Everybody. I'd love a sugary Chelsea bun and a cuppa, says Phil Levan. Oh, the sugar rush, Phil Levan, the sugar rush. We'll be scraping you off the ceiling with Stuart, because he's on the lights, so you'd have to have the ceiling. Welcome to the legendary Battenbergers at the beginning of every live. Thank you to Rich and to Stuart and to Neil Cunningham and to the Bovril for continuing to support the channel. Very much appreciated. Keeps me in a biffkiff. So tonight on the live, we're going to talk about royalty, old power. We're going to talk about the Beckhams, manufactured power. We're going to talk about the welfare state. That's state power under strain. And then we're going to talk about Trump in Iran. Global power in flux. But wait till you hear. Around about 8:20 tonight, in about an hour's time, you just wait until I've kind of decoded the whole fucking lot. Now, my head hurt. I had literally walk away from my desk and my screen because my head hurt so much. But I have got it, and I'm going to deliver it tonight. So let me just ask you something. Do you know someone who's tired of being talked at and wants to be part of the conversation? Send them here. If you've got any friends or family or those around you that kind of they're feeling that there's something going wrong or amiss, then if you know someone like you that are tired of literally just being talked at, send them here, because it's interactive. It's going to be interactive tonight. I've got loads of questions to ask you just to find out how you are, where you are, and how you feel about things. And that's the difference between this channel, these lives, and everybody else on social media. Everybody is, I want to interact with you. And that's what is unique about these lives. It's interactive. You tell me where you are and what you're doing. Not as in, oh, I live at number 3 of, I don't know, McPherson Square or something, name made up. Hang on. Geordie Nicholas says, on this show, the plumbers don't knock, they poke the Ring doorbell. Do you think they've got... Hang on, I've got something in my eye. Do you think that the astronauts are in the capsule? Look, the polite ones, the polite plumbers, if there's ever such a thing, if they're still alive after that company of plumbers forced them to take the jibber jabber, you notice how many people's dying at the minute from cancer. Just saying. Just saying. Not judging anyone, and I wish everyone a long life and good health. But there's a ton of them keeling over from the jibber jabber, seemingly. Oh, well, cancer. It's got nothing to do with any injections or jibber jabber or anything. It's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with being locked down, the mental health issues that we've got going around. It's got nothing to do with any of that at all. Aye. Right. You can foxtrot Oscar. Not you. Them. Not us, me and you. I want to talk about... thank you, Geordie Nicholas. Good to see you, the body of the Kirk. Ian McGee. Evening, Adrian, and all your wrongs. I see you says, I think it's important to understand people watch out of choice. It's an acquired taste for the same. Oh, lovely. Well put, I see you. And that's the thing. Some people, if... it is an acquired taste because it's not like the usual YouTube stuff. And you can interact with everybody in the chat, in the body of the Kirk. And that's why I encourage that more than anything, because there will be coming tough times, and we've got to stand shoulder to shoulder, 4 square with everybody, because there were people, and this is what I don't understand, there were people 5 years ago that are now keeling over stiff. Comedy opening if you want it. Stiff. No more. This parrot is deceased. Why? A, they didn't do the research. B, they listened to the bullshit. And C, they took free burgers and buns and kebabs. You didn't know, did you? I didn't. I told them to go off. And there was like people saying, oh, you need to test, you need to... And there was members of my extended family saying, you need to take the jab. You, literally, this forceful, you need to take the jab because, well, you're putting other people at risk. And I said to them, you're saying that on the doorstep to my home. You can fuck off. Now. And when you get there, fuck off a little bit more. And then when you fucked off a little bit more, fuck off again. Because you haven't done your research. Now, they're all contritious, pearl clutching, not pearl necklace, pearl clutching, and saying, shall we talk about Charles the Weak, just to get off subject? Yes, we can, Rev. So, let's talk about Charles the Weak, because, well, the thing with reading the newspapers and being on social media is I get the dichotomy. I get the things contradicting each other. So I want to talk about Charles the Weak, who yesterday, for Easter Sunday, got a whole load of slaver shouting and booing from the crowd that were holding up placards at Westminster Cathedral. Not my king, not my king. And he heard them, but it's not been reported in the newspapers today. That tells me it's not long before Charlie checks out and William takes over. Because the state of the country, the Weffettes, that's what they're doing to the country. So let's begin at the top, shall we? At the very, very top. Let's not talk about Horseface. I'm not her favourite because, let's face it, we would have had Diana, more beautiful, as Queen. And now we've got Camilla, Queen Consort. She will never be anything else, in my view, other than a Queen Consort. Because there's Philip, classy boy. I mean, did some really... In Kitty Kelly's book, he was shagging all over the world. He was knocking kids out like salamis in South America, seemingly, Argentina. But... he wasn't that duplicitous, was he? So let's start at the top with Charles the Weak, because that's where this always starts. Fish rots from the head down. So if I may be so bold, a monarch doesn't run the country. He represents it and gets paid very handsomely for it. Now, the king or the monarch or the queen, look at Queen Elizabeth II. That's why she was so magnificent. She, thereby Charles the Weak, is the emotional centre of the nation, in my view. The constant, the anchor. And Charlie boy is definitely an anchor. And right now, something feels off. I mean, you've seen the moments, the public reaction, the boos outside Westminster Cathedral, the temperature, not in the headlines, but in instinct, how people are reacting to him. I mean, people are lobbing eggs at him. If I may be so bold, I'm not sure that Charlie is that popular. Because, I mean, I've seen the Queen, and I swear to God, how can I put this? No, we'll leave that. It gives too much of the game away. So, when people see a monarch, they're not just looking at a man or a woman in Queen Elizabeth II's case. They're asking a question. They're not looking internally. They're asking a question. Do you speak for me? And if the answer starts to drift, even slightly, you don't get outrage. You get something far more dangerous. Not even revolution, brothers and sisters. You get disconnection. Now layer into that the role itself. Defender of the faith. And there's Charles the Weak going, I'm the defender of the faiths. So everybody is not just asking the question, do you speak for me? They're also asking the question, is he a Muslim? Because for Eid, he came out, not out, but he came out and gave a speech to the nation. That nation, not our nation, that nation. And now the disconnection around not doing anything for the holiest Christian weekend of the whole year, above and beyond Christmas Day, the birth of the birth of the Nazarene. Defender of the faith, not a faith, the faith, in the traditional sense of this country's identity. And when people start quietly asking, am I being represented here? That's not noise. That is data, signal, truth. Because monarchy survives on belief. And belief doesn't collapse overnight. It just slowly stops holding. And we've had, how long has he been on the throne? Not that throne, not the big white telephone, not that throne. Proper throne. 3 years? When did she die? Nearly 4 years. Was it 2022 she died? Must have been. But the king, Charles the Weak, is only one part of a 4-part picture. Because what really defines a monarch is everything around it. Let's call it the periphery. Now look around at the edges of the institution, this institution, the monarchy institution right now. And ask yourself, who's in? Who's out? Not out, out. Because it's not clean, is it? So yesterday you have Charles the Weak and Horseface at Westminster Cathedral, and people were booing and not very happy. So they've wheeled William and Catherine and the bairns out to kind of steady the ship. I mean, you've got figures who've stepped back. Shall we name them? Hello, Andrew. Is that you in the back? Hello, mate. Sorry for your loss. Sorry for up yours, mate. Just go off to the Middle East where Wally is. Just go and join her. But there are figures who are present, but not central, and figures who exist outside the structure, but still kind of orbit it. And the effect of that isn't scandal. You want me to tell you? I would define it as blur, not Blur, the pop band, Blur, bad eyesight. So where does the line sit? Who represents the crown and who doesn't? Well, you've got Ginger Sphericals and the actress, the cable TV actress in Montecito, thinking that they're king and queen of all they survey. They don't represent the crown. Andy, Epstein's mate, kid shagger, he's not representing anything. And then you've got people in the line of succession who are going to be ditched. Off you go, Foxtrot Oscar. Look, institutions, strong ones, need clarity. They need clarity in the chaos. Hang on, let's just move this down ever so slightly. They need clean edges. They should have it pegged. And right now, stop it. It feels like the edges are a bit soft, squidgy, blurry. I mean, you've got stories that just won't go away, associations that linger. Oof, like a bad smell. Questions that are never fully answered, just managed. And when that happens, the public doesn't necessarily rebel, like the peasants revolted in the 1300s. Was it the 1100s? Jarrah March. They just quietly step back. And again, it's not noise. It's not. People vote with their feet all the time. And when the centre feels uncertain and the edges feel a bit blurred, the mind does what it always does. It looks straight ahead. So should we ask the question about the future? And this is the question nobody officially asks, but everyone quietly thinks, what comes next? Because every institution reaches a point where continuity becomes a conversation. Not a crisis, not a collapse, just a quiet recalibration. And in moments like this, people don't look for perfection. They look for stability. Now look at what Queen Elizabeth II did. She knew, born, life of service, dies. She's the monarch. She's the queen. For queen and country. She knew what she was doing. She knew how weak Charles was. She knew how he was, he was away playing with the fairies. Technical term, metaphorically. So people look for stability, and they got that from Queen Elizabeth II. People are looking in a very chaotic and uncertain world. People are still looking for stability, and what do we get? Bloody Charles the Weak. That's what we get. I am going to ask some questions in a second. I would suggest that people, you and I, look for someone who feels like they fit the moment, who understand the tone of the country. Although Queen Elizabeth II didn't always get it right. She was up at Balmoral when Diana was murdered. And took her 3 or 4 days to come down. Not from the ceiling, like Stuart and Rich. But down. Come back to Buckingham Palace. Come back to her people. Come back to us. And I was living and working for Fayed in London. So I would go past Kensington Palace all the time. I would be going in and out of work, which was on the Brompton Road, opposite Harrods, in a big building opposite Harrods. That's where I used to work for Fayed, running Liberty 963, his radio station. So I was in amongst it all as it was going on. And the people, the tone of the country back then was just looking for the Queen. Please be our monarch. Now, the royal family were shitting themselves. just from things that I know. They were shitting themselves because at first they didn't know what was what. I mean, some people have pointed the finger at members of the royal family for her murder. No, it wasn't that. Wasn't. There was 3 teams on her. Israel, America, British. They needed her gone. She was pregnant with a Muslim half-brother or sister to the future King of England. Oh, can you understand what the shit was going down? But even so, the public needed someone, Queen Elizabeth II, to understand the tone of the country, and eventually she got it. We looked to a monarch who could carry it without friction, without a sense of disconnect from their people. Can you look at Charles the Whig? Just answer me honestly, if you want to. In the what's that, Johnny Nicholas? Edward has the brains. Say now to keep out the way. Bless him. Yeah. Nice guy, super nice guy. Have met him just the once. And somebody I used to work with was the ski instructor for him, the missus and the bands when they were really, really young. And he was this guy, proper handsome bastard. Proper. I mean, I got the brains, he just got the looks and could ski. I can't for toffee. But the monarch needs to understand that there could be a sense of disconnect. And Charles the Weak, he doesn't get it. Bloody thing. He doesn't get it at all. He doesn't look like what a complete arse he looks in public. Well-hung lesbian. So, for the monarch, whether that moment is now or later, the fact the question is even being asked tells you everything that you need to know. Because once a nation starts thinking about the next chapter, as I have talking about King Billy and have done for months, it's already begun. The tone of the nation is beyond the monarch's control currently. But even beyond the king, Charles the Weak, beyond the future, there's another layer to this. The figures that just sit just outside the frame. There's the optional extras. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Fergie and Andy. Where's Wally? Where are they? So let me ask you something simple tonight. In the royal family, who feels present, apart from William, Catherine, and the bairns? Because William, Queen Elizabeth II, tutored William about becoming king, because she was an exemplary monarch, in my view. And William is going to be an exemplary king. And sandwiched in the middle, we've got this weak fool at the top that doesn't give a flying. And he's one of the West bloodlines. He's with the Rothschilds. And we see him, and that disconnect that I'm talking about is there. It's there. It's been pushed in our face all the time. We're not like him. He's not like us. Billions and billions and billions. And we're sitting here scratching our arses trying to make ends meet in a cost of living crisis. And he's flying around the world on private jets, doesn't give a flying. That's why Ginger Bollocks is getting it tight. Not from her. She's too old. Probably slackened. So let me ask you something, again, very, very simple. Who feels present and who feels absent? Because thereby you and I will feel the disconnect. Because absence speaks, and so does selective presence. You've got figures who appear briefly, then disappear again. You've got others who are ever present, still there, but that's never quite addressed. And then you've got the wider picture, stories that just refuse to go away. Hello, Mr. Epstein, how are you? Connections that are never fully resolved, names that still carry weight, whether they're spoken or not. Ask yourself this question. Pizzagate. Why did Andy, the pervert, decide he wanted to take one of his daughters to Pizza Express? When he said Pizza Express in Woking, I think it was, in the interview, I literally spat my tea halfway across the room. I thought, Andy, that's not very bright. all this stuff about Pizzagate, and you're saying, oh yeah, I took my daughter to Pizza Express. It was code to the people that needed to hear the code. And I would suggest to you that the question the public quietly is holding, me and you, is this. Has everything that needed to be dealt with been dealt with? Because if the answer feels incomplete, then the story never really ends. It just lingers. And when things linger around an institution like the House of Windsor, the House of Saxe-Coburg, they don't explode, they just erode over time. So we're going to go 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Do you feel the monarchy is stable right now? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Do you feel the monarchy is stable right now? Louis Sampson, no, it hasn't. I see you. My dad is going. Hang on, he's up. Oh, I see you. My dad is going nuts about it. He's up in arms over it. Just the first thing that sprang to his tumbleweed head, says Amalia. Woking locals would have talked non-stop about a royal visit, but they didn't, says Les Griffiths. I know. And neither did the staff. Nobody came out. Not out, but nobody came out and said, oh, hey, bloody hell, we had Andy in here the other night. Bloody hell. He had a thin crust. Didn't do the salad bar, just a thin crust. But Beatrice or Eugenie, whichever one it was, oh, they were delightful. Yeah, absolutely squiffy. It was a teenage birthday party, and she absolutely stuffed her fizzog with inappropriate pizza. What's the difference between an Italian woman and a hippopotamus? About 40 stone and 3 pizzas. Thin crust, obviously. And a black dress. So, let's have a look at the votes. The question is, do you feel the monarchy is stable right now? Interesting. It's 50-50, maybe. Des is the only one saying yes. Everybody else, Louise Hampson, Nicky Watson, Phil Levan, Peter Rhys-Jones, Carl Leadham. Carl, good to see you in the body of the Kirk. Not sure if you're a first-timer, but good to see you in the body of the Kirk. Vix Tex, Cuban Pete, Andrew James, Enver. Well, Enver agrees with Des, but Fatal Racing Driver, Catwoman Jones, I see you. Geordie Nicholas, 2 last legs. They're probably wrapped around somebody. Can you see the entitled Royal Dimwit dining at Pizza Express? No, Comic Mania, no. Lauren Taylor and Barry Wright. Sharon Grinnell, Gary Shabot. No, it's the final days and years, says Paulie Gallieri. Lewis, Nathan Diamond, no. So it's all Albert Medcalf. Well, Albert Medcalf and Garen Davis. Get them gone, says Albert. Get them gone. Bloody thing. Royals don't go to pizza restaurants, says Stephen Hall. Fair amount of newbies tonight. Brilliant, Les. Carl Leadham, new. I'll pop your cherry for you. For a second time. So all the newbies in the chat, just say hello. I'm a newbie and I'll pop your cherry for you. And if you could smash the likes, that would be awfully nice. So Albert, get them bloody gone. Stephen Hall, Royals don't go to pizza restaurants. Thank you, Stephen Hall. I know they don't. They have them served by Soivans. Fair amount of new. Oh, yeah. Carly, I'm new. Liz, they are coming. Oh, I see you. Reg D, Randy Andy's antics have proper thrown a cat amongst the pigeons. Subat Ted, no comment. God save the king. Well, it might be in God's judgment, because I don't think he's going to last for much longer. We're going to have a new monarch before the end of the year. I mean, can you imagine? It's like popes. Pope on a rope. You have a long one, you get a couple of short ones. And we've had a long monarch, longest in history, since Athelstan in the 900s. Maybe. I do wish the king long life and good health, but I think his cancer's done for him. Might be a heart attack. Who knows? Maybe I'm psychic. Maybe I'm not. So, second question. Let me just get the bottom of here because I want to see if there's any more votes. Vix Tex, discouraging that William is praising Islam. What about his wife and daughter? Yeah, there is that. I did see today that somebody's picked up on. The problem is with royalty, you say anything, it's amplified. So just keep your gob shut. And if he turns round and says, I'm a defender of the faith, it's a Christian faith, but I have no truck with any other faiths, whether that be Judaism or the Abrahamic religions, whether it's Islam. I mean, when I went to Turkey, I wanted to see the whirling dervishes, which is the esoteric arm of Islam. But you didn't say to me, oh, you're wrong, and what are you doing going to see the bloody whirling dervishes? You didn't say anything like that. Because you know who I am. But at the same time, I enjoy esotericism. Of any kind. Whether it be the Japanese martial arts or the Chinese Yamabushi, the wandering reverends, or being a reverend of a particular church somewhere around the world. You never judge me because you know my colours. You know what they are. They're red and white, whether it's my football team or my belief system. Red and white. And these perverts in Rome can all go and foxtrot Oscar, shagging kids. Phil Levan says royalty needs the cash taken off them and get housed on a rough council estate. Can you imagine? There's little Andy, man. I mean, can you imagine with a beard, rough, string vest? Hello, my name's Andrew. I used to be known as Prince. But now, I love me working man's club. I love a few pints, man, going home and having a takeaway. I prefer Chinese. Really? That's not what we heard. I mean, Virginia Giuffre was Australian. Sorry, American. So can you imagine? Fergie, hello! Oh, fuck me, I've just had an orgasm. What do you mean? Oh, drop me chips. I mean, Fergie. I mean, I remembered this because it was reported in the News of the World, but they said, and I'm not being ungallant. I'm not being gentlemanly about this, but then again, she's got enough money not to care. They said the first time ever with Fergie, you have no comprehension what it's going to be like. I mean, I could read a lot of things into that, but that was in the News of the World. So no, the bloody wonder she married Randy. Geordie Nicholas says, Pizza Express silences the difference between monarchy and a private company. They struck gold. Look at the accounts company's house. Oh, really? Oh, I'll do that. Charles and the grifters, they need evicting, says Ian McGee. Vix text, Virginia, broken-hearted. But you know something? Doesn't it look like it was very convenient that, in my view, like Diana murdered, Virginia was bumped off just in time for the Epstein files to be released? So if you can smash the likes before we continue, that would be lovely. So the monarchy, another question. I've got two more questions about the royal family, and then we're going to move on to the real royal family. And I'm being facetious before you start. So second question, 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Do you feel the royal family, as it stands today, is united? Has clarity in the chaos? Do you feel the royal family, as it stands today, is united? They have clarity in the chaos. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Big Stack says Virginia Giuffre, very convenient. So Cuban Pete and Fatal Racing Driver, Des Ashton, Comic Mania, Nicky Watson, Vix Tex, Elliot, Lewis, all saying no. Phil Levan, oh bloody hell, where's that gone? That was a really good comment as well, Phil Levan. Phil Levan, has Glitter died yet? I thought he was on his last legs. Oh, he's probably taking a nap on some 8-year-old girl. But maybe they'll do what they did with Rolf Harris. Rolf Harris died. Nobody knew anything for 5 weeks. He was underground by the time the news came out. Dreamer, Andrew James, Matt Whedon, David Graham. Nope. Catwoman Jones, Tom Harneys, Amalia. Everybody's saying no. Literally 100%. Carl Edom, good to see you in the body of the Kirk for a first timer, Carl. Absolutely not, says Peter Rees-Jones. Les Griffiths, everybody's saying no. Ian McGee. Tyne Cider. Whoa, another one. Frida Holworth. Frida, good to see you in the body of the Kirk again tonight. William Collins likes to be contrary. And Gary Shabbat, I see you. Stephen Hall, Barry Wright. Super Ted, Mad Matt UK. Phil Levan, united under Islam. they're trying to be all things to all people. And they're all tied to WEF, who are the Chinese Communist Party in sheep's clothing. And they want the Muslims to infiltrate everywhere. So there's like, they're going to burn the streets. But wait till I tell you what I think is going on with Trump tonight, somewhere between 8:30 and 20 to 9. So it looks like most people are saying no. One, of course, behind closed doors, they're tucked up sweet, says In the Field, which is a very good point. Tone, Phil Levan, last I saw, he was evicted from a Basildon safe house. No, he's still inside. He was put back inside. Kitty, 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 says Paulie. Phil Levan says he was blind and dying weeks ago, or was it a distraction? Yeah, it could have been. And Andrew James says glitter couldn't have been that important if he was sent to the Nick a few times. He didn't have powerful friends. There are other people in showbiz that had very powerful friends, and so far they've not been named at all. Now, it's not for me to name them, because I quite like doing these lives and being on YouTube. I wouldn't be here long if I did. But if you know me, if I can, and I've already dropped massive hints earlier, so those that know. Final question about the Royals. Really simple question. Do you feel confident in the direction the monarchy is heading? Charles is not going to last much longer. It's going to go down to Billy. Do you feel confident in the direction the monarchy is heading? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Angelic Inspiration says, yeah, I heard rumours about Trump. They even named the hospital. Interesting. Mind you, they just let President Skidmark run around with shitty pants and it didn't do anything for him. So, let's have a look at the votes. Question is, do you feel confident in the direction the monarchy is heading? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Cuban Pete says no, as does Comic Mania, Enver, Tom Harneys and Des Ashton and Lionel Legalista. Des Ashton says it more plainly. Damn, they're shitter. It's a mess, says Amalia. Andrew James, no. William Commons, no. No, doesn't help our lives, says Paulie Gallieri. Time for the royal family to go back to Germany, says David Graham. Literally everybody's saying no, nobody's a fan. So Queen Elizabeth II, everybody revered her. Queen Elizabeth II couldn't have been any more revered than she was. And bloody Charles the Weak gets in, bloody thing. He's like, as if we care about a pen, like a proper pen. I'm surprised he didn't use a quill, to be fair. But the minute it started leaking everywhere, bloody thing, I'm the bloody king, you bunch of wrong-uns. And it's just like, oh, yeah, man, just kind of chill out. You're the king, you can do what you want. We don't care. The All Bovril, Lauren Taylor. Stuart Skidmark should be in the Springfield's retirement castle. Maybe he is, and they haven't told us. I think they're after Killary, and they're after, what's her face? Cameltoe. I don't feel confident in anything anymore, says Lewis, and that is the most prescient comment of the night, because it is a very chaotic and unsettling world. So let's decode, shall we? Thank you to everyone for their comments and votes. Charlie Boy always was a proper clown, says Comic Mania. So if what I do on these lives, if it cuts through the noise for you, don't keep it to yourself. Tell one and all. Should we look at Beckham, the media whore? It's a technical term that I use because obviously I've worked in radio and the media for 40 odd years. So let me ask you something. When something is suddenly everywhere, is that because they matter? Or is it because they're being made to matter? Because over the last 24 hours, you've actually seen it. David Beckham, hello, it's me, David. Front page. And they're not. So if you saw, I've told you that I lived in London 93 to 97 whilst I was working for Fired. And one of the simple pleasures in life was being able to go down to Charing Cross, grab a bag of caramelised nuts or go and stand next to somebody who got their nuts caramelised. And you could buy the Sunday papers on a Saturday night. Now, they were the earlies. And yesterday, the earlies were... David Beckham was on the front pages. So I woke up, went down to my paper shop, and David Beckham wasn't actually front of the Daily Mail. It's disturbing new Jackson photos spark lawsuit. And I thought, hang on a second, where's bloody Beckham gone? So he was front pages and then not, and in the Sun he's in the bloody showbiz pages. Again and again and again. Family spreads, soft conflict, quiet narrative threads. And if you're paying attention, not just looking, but watching what's going on, you start to feel something. And I'll verbalise it for you. Hang on. Why him? Why now? Why everywhere? I mean, I can hazard a guess. The World Economic Forum. He's up in the upper reaches. He's best mates in the papers today with Charlie. And over the weekend, Charlie at his Cotswolds home, he reckons he's a gardener. My hairy arse. He might not even an uphill gardener. Although he has been to a few Diddy parties, him and his missus. Vicky. And so I'll slow this down. Because I've been saying this to you for months and months and months. Because I believe there is a system here. Look at the front page. Early edition. Beckham is up there. Front page. Later edition. Gone. Replaced. Ends up on page 11, I think. So that tells you something immediately. The front page is not truth. It's a battlefield. And on that battlefield, today, he lost. Because bigger forces moved in. Michael Jackson, king of pop. Politics. Trump drops F-bomb on Iran. Fucking bastards. I mean, you'd hear that on a council estate, but president of the free world? Or what did he say? He called them mad bastards. Which American used the word bastard in a completely different reference frame to what we do. I mean, we used to call kids out of wedlock bastards. We don't call them anymore. How could we? There'd be bloody millions of them in the country. So the etymology, slightly different, but same language and different references. So the bastard is like more a simpleton in America. Yeah, mad bastards, says Trump. Bloody hell, he don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do weed, he don't do anything. What? Coca-Cola? No, not that Coca-Cola. Maybe, sugar drinks. Maybe he had a sugar rush. Because that battlefield, bigger forces moved in. Politics, controversy, global weight. So Beckham gets displaced off the front page of the Mail on the Daily Mail. But here's the key. He doesn't disappear. He moves. He kind of foxtrot Oscars to page 11. And page 46, the showbiz spreads, and then suddenly the tone changes. There's no longer any urgency, no longer, look at this now, look. Now it's family, image, subtle tension, narrative. And that's a completely different kind of storytelling, because there are two speeds in the media. Fast stories, shock you. And then the slow stories, they shape you. And Beckham just moved from fast to slow. Geordie Nicholas says, that daft Mackham bastard, but we love him. Said a spokesperson, fucking skunks. Sorry, did that slip out? Sid James Park. Beckham moved from fast to slow. And isn't there a term in running, in athletics? It's called fartlek. It's Scandinavian for fast, slow. So they reckon you run everything you've got for however a predetermined time or length of run, and then you run slow. But let's talk what you're actually being shown at the moment, because it's not random. You've got the Blackpool Lights, neighbour dispute. You've got the full family lineup, dynasty, unity, legacy in photographs every single time. And then the undercurrent. Lady Victoria Beckham and Nicola Peltz. Nicola Peltz is always shown in the same bloody clothes. I mean, her dad's a billionaire, multi-billionaire. Doesn't she have any more money that she can buy some new clothes or something? But in that relationship, Victoria Beckham and Nicola Peltz, there's a little tension, a little suggestion, a little, is she copying her? A little, whose side is she on? It's not a feud, not enough to damage anything, just enough to keep it alive, keep it rolling. Because here's the truth. This isn't about Beckham the man anymore. This is Beckham the system. A 25-year brand that understands one thing better than almost anyone else in public life. Visibility is survival. But that's where it gets interesting, because people ask, who's using who? Is the media using the Beckhams? Or are the Beckhams using the media? And the answer is, yes, stupid. The media uses Beckham because he's perfect, recognisable, safe, photogenic, cross-generational. He fills space, as in space in newspapers, column inches, without risk. He's what editors reach for when they need something that works. But the Beckhams, they understand the machine. They don't flood it, they feed it carefully, strategically, just enough. A post here, a family moment there, a hint of tension, a whisper of drama, not chaos, never chaos, because chaos destroys brands, but controlled friction that sustains them. Now look at Nicola Peltz. And this is where it does sharpen slightly. She becomes Nicola Peltz Beckham. How clever is that? Not just Nicola Peltz, not just Nicola Beckham, because that's technically her married name. Both. That's not personal. That's bloody positioning, man. And I'm not talking, missionary or 69 or anything. Because she sits at the intersection of wealth, Peltz, cultural fame, Beckham, and right now, the cultural current is stronger, so she leans into it, because attention doesn't follow balance, it follows recognition. And all of this, all of it, every piece you've seen today and over the Easter weekend feeds one thing. Not a story, a feeling. That the Beckhams matter, that they're central, they are still relevant. But here's the question you have to ask yourself. Did anything actually happen? Or did you just see placement, repetition, variation across multiple pages over the weekend until it felt like something bigger than it was? You see, that's how modern media works. Not through one big story, but through many small touches, touch points, repeated, front page, then inside, then lifestyle, then showbiz, until the presence becomes the message. So no, it's not a coincidence. It's not a grand conspiracy theory either. It's something more subtle, more powerful, more every single day. It's a system where the media says, we'll just keep you visible, and the subject says, we'll give you just enough to work with. And between those two forces, a narrative is sustained. Not forced, not hidden, just kept alive. And that's why you're seeing Beckham everywhere. Winning awards at World Economic Forum. Is he working on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party? And we're seeing him everywhere, and his missus and his kids, because the machine has decided he's a useful idiot right now. So the real question isn't about Beckham. The real question's about you. Because once you see this, you start to realize it's not just Beckham. It's everything. That's how the machine works. That's how the machine's fed. All these Love Island non-entities, all these EastEnders, Coronation Street non-entities, all these people who are trying to get in the newspapers every day because the machine uses them. They're useful idiots. And once you start to realise placement, distraction. It's not just Beckham. It's everything. So, a couple more questions before I get on to the Trump thing. I'm going to ask you about when suddenly someone is everywhere. As I said to you earlier, is that because they matter or because they're being made to matter? 1, yes, they genuinely matter. 2, no, they're being made to matter. They're a distraction. And 3, I'm not sure, Adrian. So 1 for Lewis says, Des says, totally irrelevant. Lewis says, brand Beckham. Haven't bought a paper since the last century, says Coming Mania. Amalia Grassi, I'm a useless idiot. No, you are not. You're a member of the wrong congregation, Amalia. So, are they being made to matter? 1, yes, they genuinely matter. 2, no, they're being made to matter. So let's have a look at the votes. Dolby and Matt Whedon and Stuart and Elliot and Vix Tex. Angelic Inspirations, Tom Harney. God bless me, everybody's saying no. Enver does make a good point, though. Enver says, surely it depends on the circumstances. But it's every day. That's why I'm taking the mickey out of them all the time. Hello, it's me, David. Because for 6 months since January, 6 months, no, 4 months since January, when he received the award at the World Economic Forum, he's literally been in the newspapers every day. And then when he gets his knighthood, oh, dear Lord. I'm not calling him a sir. I'm not calling her a lady. I'm not going to go into that, but let's get into the vote. So, thank you, Enver. Dave Warrington and Louise Hampson says, I don't care. Carl Leadham, the All Bovril, Oval Raw, In the Field, Frida Hallworth. They are being made to matter just by talking about the feckers. Good point, Les. Very good point. Paulie Gallieri says, no, I can't give a flying fook about the bastard Beckhams. William Commons and Lewis, they're all no fatal racing driver. And Ian McGee and Reg D and Zach and Ollie. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, Zach and Ollie. Gary Shabot and Barry Wright are all saying, no, they're being made to matter. Do I ask any more? No. I did promise you something a bit mind-blowing. So if you're sitting comfortably, go and if you need to get a cuppa, give us 30 seconds, get a cuppa sorted, sit down and concentrate. Because this is not heavy, but I'm going to try and present it to you as an idea. And I want to do that simply because this is very important. This is the future of the globe. If you've got any kids or any grandkids, as the Manic Street Preachers are often quoted, if you tolerate this, your children will be next. But what I want to do is I want to give you an idea. And this idea is multi-layered, multifaceted, and it will give you an insight into the world that will benefit you, your family, your children, and your community. What am I talking about? You know this conflict with Trump and Iran? Have you not thought to yourself, what the bloody hell? I mean, now he's using the F-bombs. He's now calling them mad bastards. Literally, I'm directly quoting from the media. He disappeared from, was it Tuesday or Wednesday, until today. This is a man that when he came into power a year ago, he flooded the zone with everything. He never stopped. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to offer you this premise and I'm going to give background to it. What if losing the war with Iran is the whole purpose? Now, you've heard me say I don't believe this is a war. I believe it's a conflict. It's a skirmish. Other military men are also not using the war because it's not direct. And I do believe that Trump in America is Israel's useful idiot. This is Israel versus Iran. This is Israel and Greater Israel. And there is a reason why I've just used that as an example. Bear with me. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, let's 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Do you believe that Trump is fighting an unwinnable war? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. I just want to see what the zeitgeist is. I just want to feel the temperature of the room. Do you believe Trump is fighting an unwinnable conflict? Wow. Belt and braces. Comic Mania, Carl Leadham. Sorry, Belt and braces. I hope you're a first timer. We obviously pop everyone's cherry who is a first timer in the comments. Gribbo says, I reckon Trump has played us all. Told Starmer, etc., to drill, baby, drill. Starts war, stopping oil shipments. Idiots in Westminster. Drill, baby, drill. I'll do that on Wednesday. But Belt and braces, is he fighting an unwinnable war? Yes. Comic Mania, Carl Leadham, and Two Gits in a Car. Thank you for the email. I'm going to use it Wednesday. Thank you. It's kind of like an aid memoir that I got from Two Gits in a Car. Just want to acknowledge it, and I'm going to use it on Wednesday. Louise Hampson says she's not so sure, but Dave Warrington, Stephen Shepherd, Two Gits in a Car. The Umarian meme is not so sure either. No. Albert Medcalf, they've never won a war. Well, tell me about it, but they always get rich on it, especially off our arses. The Bad Wolf Project and Barry Wright and Geordie Nicholas. Yes. Pauline Makepeace is not so sure. Gary Shabot is saying a no. Well, there's a very good question. In the field says, what does winning look like? Nobody knows. Because we are literally getting our information from a bunch of newspapers that 6 years ago we didn't trust and wouldn't touch with a barge pole. So why has that changed? Why has the information coming out of the newspapers, the mainstream media today, any more credible than it was 6 years ago? I would suggest it's not. It's all theatre, darling. Theatre. So thank you to everyone that's voted. Fatal Racing Driver says, yeah, it's unwinnable. Les says no. Hang on, what was the question again? Let me just have a very quick look. Is he fighting an unwinnable war? Loads of yeses, a few no's, and a few I don't know. So I would say the Umarian meme. I'm not typing 3. Spooky. Ooh. Ghosts in the Machine. War? Back to my northeastern roots. War is always about money. Thank you, Vixtex. Reduced oil from the Middle East means more customers for North and South American producers. Whoa, you see, great minds think alike, Les. So Trump at the moment is threatening to invade Iran with ground troops. Karg Island. 90% of Iran's oil goes through Karg Island. Trump is also, at the moment, brassing off NATO. I would use stronger language, but there's no kids watching. So he's pissing off NATO by threatening to pull out. Comedy opening, I'll leave it with you. He's threatening to pull out of NATO and defund NATO, which means NATO would go kaput. And remember, Trump's always been threatening Greenland. He's been picking fights with Canada and Mexico and Denmark and Colombia. JP Morgan now saying the world will run out of oil by mid-April. Always look on the bright side of life, JP Morgan. So what's the price of the pump today? They were talking about £2 odd for a litre of diesel. And I know we had the fuel crisis a couple of years ago, and it was $200 a barrel. It didn't, I can't remember whether it cost over £2 a litre, but they're damaging anybody that uses diesel. So that'll be the haulage firms, that'll be, unless they get government subsidies, all the workies with their vans, or the chippies and the leggies and the anybody that needs to have working tools in the back of their van. And if you also look wider, the global economy is wobbling a bit. Some are predicting depression, not recession, but I'm not sure we would go that unless there is a real reason why we haven't had a depression for 100 years, the 1920s. Look at Peaky Blinders. But Trump is currently looking like the worst president in history. Look at the pressure that he's under. Look at all of the criticisms he's getting from left, right, and centre. They're intimating that he's a complete buffoon. But a bit like George W. Bush, who, again, just looked like a useful idiot, but that was the whole bloody point. He was an alcoholic at one point. But is it in the hero's journey? Joseph Campbell, he turned himself around, faced himself and turned himself around. I'm talking George W. Bush. But with Trump, his detractors are saying he's an utter, complete buffoon. So what if he wants to lose the skirmish with Iran in some shape? I mean, there he is today. Bomb the crazy bastards. He's going to take out their infrastructure. He's going to take out their bridges and their power plants. Let me offer you this. What if Donald Trump is trying to collapse the global economy? Just hold that premise for a moment. What if he wants the American empire to collapse? I mean, if he did that, he'd be an absolute genius. Let me say this. 20% of the world's oil comes from the Middle East. Japan, it's 75%. India, it's 60%. But here's the thing. This is the really clever thing about the oil companies. Oil's not rare. It's not a finite fossil fuel. I mean, the war, at the back end of the 90s, when they were talking about, before 9/11, they were talking about the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea and trying to get the oil and gas out of the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea because Saudi Arabia, huge oil producers in the 80s and 90s, was going to run out of oil by 2030. Really? I mean, if you look at the United States and Canada and Venezuela, they've all got massive reserves. Can you see where this is going? Some people have actually said so in the comments. So stay with me. The decode is coming. If Trump closes the Strait of Hormuz, open the strait, you mad bastards. If Trump keeps it closed, gets boots on the ground on Karg Island, and then controls Iran's 90% of their oil, the Middle East oil stops flowing. I mean, America's still pumping. Because if there's any... Iran's been saying to China and Japan and South Korea, no, you can all go through your flying flags of convenience. Oh, don't worry, we're not going to stop you. You can buy our oil. America's still pumping oil. They've got all the reserves from Venezuela. The world, the planet, is awash with oil. I'm sure my dad once told me, because he was a merchant Navy boy, he said to me, at any point, 80% of the world's oil is afloat, and it's being traded whilst it's in tankers. But if the Middle East's oil stops flowing, America keeps pumping. Suddenly, China and Japan and India and South Korea are all in trouble because they all will need American oil. But remember BRICS, which was Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. They all said they were going to come away from the dollar oil. They were going to start trading oil in a different currency other than the American dollar. So BRICS, China, Japan, India, South Korea, all those countries, they all need American oil. But have you not noticed that Trump's been fighting with China since he got into power? Look at the Panama Canal. China's got the Panama Canal. Hadaway and shite. Oi, you lot. Ah, yeah. Foxtrot Oscar. Look at the Venezuelan reserves. They've got Maduro out and they control Venezuela. Look at Iran and the oil. It's not just oil. There's fertilizer, nitrogen for food production. Can you imagine? They've got no fertilizer or nitrogen. Can't really grow. Their food production might go through the floor. It all comes from the Middle East. And if that's all cut off, where do they turn? Oh, let's have a think. Yeah, North America. but not just North America, Russia. So Trump is making the entire world reliant on resources he controls. I'm going to say that to you again, because this is the most important part of what I'm delivering to you. Trump is making the entire world reliant on resources he controls. Now, here's the genius part. Who owns the most American debt? Who's financing the $39 trillion of US debt? I'll tell you. Japan, China, Taiwan, South Korea, Asia, UK, France, Europe. The same countries reliant on Middle East oil. Now, there is a fear that these countries would stop buying US Treasury bonds. So this is not so simple about recovering some downed pilot, some Black Hawk down in Iran. It's multi-layered, and Trump is a businessman, first and foremost. Forget being president, he's a businessman. And people say, oh yeah, he's been bankrupt twice. Who cares? He's now got multi-billions in the bank. He knows what's what. So these countries, UK, France, Asia, Europe, Japan, China, Taiwan, South Korea, there's a fear that these countries would stop buying US Treasury bonds and they'd move into gold or Swiss francs. Now, let me tell you, France today, and I've just named France, but France today and over the Easter weekend, they've told the Americans, we want our gold back. So remember when Trump got into power and Elon Musk said, yeah, we need to have a look at Fort Knox. We need to have a look at the gold in Fort Knox. And everybody went, whoa, you can't look in there, man. And Elon Musk says, why can't I? Well, because we're not going to let you. Yeah, but we want to see if the gold's there or not. Well, you can't. Oh, so the gold's not there. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying you can't. Hello, Kia, mate. Can we borrow a load of gold bullion from the Bank of England? And Keir Starmer's like, what? Yeah, don't worry. Photo op. We're just going to put the gold in Fort Knox and then we're going to take pictures and then we're going to send them back to you. Well, yeah, if you want. But France has gone one step further. They're asking for gold bullion back. And America hasn't got it. So the so-called American Ponzi scheme would completely collapse. So here's the thing. The debt, or some of it, would disappear. 10 cents on the dollar, it would disappear. But the world would then become reliant on American energy. They can't abandon the dollar. They're trapped. But Trump has just turned one of America's greatest weaknesses into its greatest weapon. Its debt. By starting the conflict, along with Israel, obviously, he's turning the world into needing America's resources. Look at Russia's war with Ukraine. Exactly the same. Fighting for 6 years. Russia's economy now focused completely around war production. Drones, munitions, military manufacturing, resources and energy. So Russia went from importing Iranian drones to manufacturing its own. Trump, big mates with Putin, just has to watch what Vladimir's doing and thinks, that's a great idea. We can make a shit ton of money. If you look at the Israelis, the Jews know how to make money. They're making a shit ton of money out of this. Bankers' wars. And also, just keep your eyes on this. When Hungary is mentioned in the central media, when North Korea is mentioned in the central media, it's because all of the other central banks over the last 3 years, 8 of them, they've lost 4 of them in 3 years. They want the rest of them by 2030. Agenda 2030. But look at it this way. The world is collapsing anyway. Putin's plan, he's built a fortress, making Russia self-sufficient. And Trump's watched all this over the last 20 years. Russia, Putin, control resources, weather the storm. Trump has seen this and thought, we can do the same. Call it the Greater North America. Now, when he got into power, I did say to you, he's going to control the South Americas. Argentina is already big mates with the president. He's gone into Venezuela. He's going to have some kind of spat with Colombia. Watch it. It's going to come. Another spat. He doesn't need the marching powder. He needs the resources. And he said he's going to take over Canada. Canada, their oil reserves. He wants to take over Greenland because of their rare minerals. And then we would end up with not North and South Hemisphere, we'd end up with East and West Hemisphere of the globe, of planet Earth. And the Western Hemisphere would all be the Greater America. You don't need me to tell you. Just look at Canada, Greenland, Venezuela, all for their resources. Mexico, they want to take Mexico for manufacturing. Cuba for its oil. Cuba's going to capitulate soon. And the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal was kicked off as soon as he got into power, into the American presidency. He said to Xi Jinping, oi, wrong one. You can't have the Panama Canal. You can Foxtrot Oscar. We're going to take it. We're America. We'll kick your ass. He's now got the Panama Canal. I mean, doesn't look great, but they've still got it. So what Trump is also doing is he's building a self-sufficient fortress. He's bringing all the manufacturing back in-house, back into the USA, while the rest of the world burns. I mean, look at what Starmer, the Manchurian candidate, is doing for the Chinese Communist Party and the World Economic Forum. And Trump is taking the mickey out of him. Completely taking the mickey. He's done. Starmer's done. He's not a statesman. And Europe, France wants its gold back. Why is that then? What, in case America becomes too powerful? And they tell the president of France, oi, Macron, go off. Take your husband with him. So what Trump is very cleverly doing, and just watch this evolve over the next year to 18 months, he wants to keep the rest of the world reliant on US resources whilst the rest of the world collapses. And I believe Trump might go down as the greatest president in American history, especially if he's working hard for the American people. Unlike the left-wing politicians. Oh, that clown that set up a new left-wing party in this country with Jeremy Corbyn. Don't know what it's called. Doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. Wait till the newspapers start reporting on her wealth and where she got it from. That party's dead. Dead. It's not going to get off the ground. Just wait. Just telling you, giving you the heads up. And the reason why I'd been saying a year before Trump got into power that I thought he was going to be the greatest president in American history. Why? Because he is working for the American people, for the benefit of the American people, for the benefit of Fortress America. And you will see. I mean, I don't know whether you saw that the other day. Mount Rushmore was being prepared for something. I mean, Trump at Mount Rushmore? So forget all these left-wing intellectual pygmies who couldn't even work out that they've got an arsehole. They're not, these people are riven with ego. They're not looking at it strategically. They're just left-wing, left-wing, left-wing. Perverts. A lot of them, in my view. So forget the intellectual pygmies who, and those that own the newspapers and own the mainstream media. And I'll tell you this, the New World Order is as dead as a dodo. Dead. Even the WEFs and the Chinese Communist Party. Trump has got them all by the short and curlies. And it's like, you'll answer back to me? You fucking intellectual pygmy. America runs the world, not fucking China. And over the last 18 months, Trump has shown China exactly how it's done. Because he's been working with his mate, Vladimir Putin. Just look at Mount Rushmore. Why would they be preparing another presidential carving? So take all of that, the detail that I've given you, and if you want to put it down into one line, Trump is creating Fortress America. He's bringing everything back into America. He's collapsing everything around the world. You and I will suffer because of this, but ultimately America won't. It's Fortress America. And we've got these clowns in our Ozempic palace who are trying to word salad their way out of it. No, mate. And did you see what happened in the Express today with Starmer? He's fucked. He's absolutely royally fucked. The Labour Party is done, finished, over with, eviscerated. May 8th, we'll crack open a bottle of champagne and laugh at all the Labour supporters. Because there was a local election in Sunderland, I swear. And it was, if there was a general election tomorrow, council election tomorrow, who would you vote for? Not one Labour vote. In my Labour heartland, my city. That's never, ever happened. My father was a Labour councillor in Sunderland. Never, ever happened. And now, it's all reform. Literally all reform. The heartland of Labour has had enough of that deviant fucker in number 10. They've had enough. And they're not going to shout about it. They're not going to do anything except they're going to get out and vote. Labour Party is done. It's finished. And they can stay in the Westminster bubble if they want. You see, Trump's a clever man. He's making sure the American people come first. And fucking liability Lammy and all of the rest of the clowns, they're not interested in you. They literally don't care whether you live or die. They just want the money. They just want the power. They want the money in their trouser pocket and in their fucking bank account. That's why it really pisses me off. The Working Man's Party? Not anymore. Blair killed that in 97. And there are other kiddie-fiddling nonsense in power in Ozempic Palace that I can't name for legal reasons. Why do you think I get so angry at them? Just watch the world turning over the next 18 months. Watch it. I'm not psychic. I can't predict anything. If I was, I'd win every horse race and be a multimillionaire. But I'm telling you, you can now see what Trump's up to. America first. Make America great again. And the politicians who are corrupt, who just want the money. That's why I started this whole thing as soon as the United States Agency for International Development came out, not out, and said, oh, yeah, and Musk says, no, we can stop the money. We'll stop the money being drained. America first. And surely that's what politicians are meant to do for you and I. Not for themselves, not the greedy feckers in the Tory party. The Tory party's finished. I mean, although they're saying, oh, well, you know, Kemi's going to give Nigel a good run for his money. Had a way and shite, man. We won't forget what they did to us. They bent us over and stuck it so far up our arse, we thought we were getting fed dinner. No. But then again, be careful what you wish for. Because every politician is corrupt. Every politician is corrupt. It's corrupted by the power. So, I wish Donald Trump long life and very good health. He needs to stay alive. He needs to stay alive. 250 years since American independence. It's never been independent ever. The king? King. Charles the Weak. The optics. Doesn't he get what? So you're going to America. The land of the free since 1776, when the king was like, no, give me some more money. And the Americans went, had a way, mate. Exactly the same thing's happening in 2026. Just watch. And look, I don't get everything right, but I will tell you this. I'm not far away with this. The world's going to collapse. And Iran, maybe that's the genius part. Everybody thinks he's going to war with Iran. He's not. America first. Look, America just needs to drop a nuke in the middle of Iran and the camel shaggers will lose their minds. Just watch. Grab your popcorn, buckle up, buttercup. it's going to get bumpy. 2026, I told you in December, my take on 2026 was, and look, again, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to give you insight from my nearly 50 years in the media. I've seen the shenanigans. I've seen what goes on in the mainstream media. I've been an editor of magazines. I've been writers for newspapers. I've broadcast radio for 47 years, and I've also done telly bits and pieces. I was nearly Jeremy Vine on Channel 5. But you know those people that will laugh and just go, he's talking shite. Good on you. Because you're the reason people are dying from the jibber jabber now. We were told 2021, 5 years, you'll be dead. Now it's 2026 and they're all keeling over. There was a YouTuber died over the weekend, 34-year-old. 34-year-old. Well, we can live to 80 and 90 years, hopefully 100. Maybe we don't want to. But I will tell you this. I had lots and lots and lots to talk about this evening. I'll do some stuff over the next couple of days because I don't think after telling you about that it would come across as measured or I tell you 5 minutes. Let me tell you this. 5 minutes. There was something that really riled me. Unusual that yesterday was the first day that the 2-child cap was gotten rid of. So now families with loads of kids are going to get tons of freebies. I've told you before, I've worked all my life since 13-year-old. And have I been given any help by the state? No. I've basically been told to Foxtrot Oscar. And yet, these fuckers that haven't got generations on this sceptred isle, they're getting... Thank you, Stuart. As always, young sir, I really appreciate your support. They're now going to get shit tons of money. Extra 40 grand if they get sent home. 40 grand! $1,000 a week for nearly a year. But I will tell you this, and you need to keep this, just if you get into any arguments or you get into any conversations with anybody, just keep this in your trouser pocket because it eviscerates any argument that the left have about what they're doing. For the first time in British history, and I'll go back to Athelstan in the 900s, the UK welfare bill now exceeds income tax. Let me say that to you again, just in case you're not really getting it. For the first time in British history, the welfare bill is greater than the income tax that the government takes in. That's why I believe the Labour Party are insane. Intellectual pygmies, they don't know what they're doing, and now we're on a cliff edge of bankrupting the country permanently. So, and it's Keir Starmer and his government that's driving this. Tax revenue. We take in 331 billion in taxes. The welfare state, benefits and welfare, is now 333 billion. So that's Peter East-Jones. Thank you very kindly. I do appreciate anybody that supports the channel. Thank you very much. Hopefully yes, I have. So now we have two pieces of information, two pieces of data, the tax revenue, and we know what HMRC are like. And do you know that HMRC have got a new digital system, but they don't know how to work it? So they're getting everybody's taxes in, and there's the reason why, because they know that we're going to go over a cliff edge and we've got no money. So Starmer, queer as folk Starmer, can go back to Zelensky, gay boy Zelensky, and fucking tell him, oi, 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 money back. We're going bankrupt in Britain. We need the £3 billion a year, because then we would be getting more in tax revenue than benefits and welfare. So I'll give it to you again. 3 billion a year goes to Zelensky for 100 years. And yet this inept bunch of clowns, income tax is only bringing in £331 billion, and we're paying out in benefits and welfare, irrespective of other stuff, 331. Now, I'm not Einstein and I'm not Brain of Britain, but I know there's a disparity of £2 billion in that. We're not bringing in enough income tax to cover the welfare bill. Thank you, Thank you, Jody Nicholas. I might need one, and half a dozen TNTs when I finish this. And I mean, that's a simplistic view. But for the first time in British history, the state is paying out more in welfare than it takes in through income tax. Not close. Not marginal, not a rounding error. We are now a country where the bill for support exceeds the bill for contribution. Now, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility, the OBR, hopefully this will be asked on Wednesday at PMQs, welfare spending is sitting at around 334 billion. And income tax receipts, roughly 330 to 331 billion. So that line, that invisible line, has been crossed. And once you cross it, you don't step back over it, you slide. Because this isn't just a number. This is a structural shift in the identity of this country, my sceptred isle. We can't even be proud to be Great Britons. Because slowly over the last 50 years since that fucking deviant Heath killing rent boys over the side of Morning Cloud, he started it. Oh, we'll just go into the common market, and look at the state we're in now. We are a nation that once funded itself. We now increasingly fund dependency. And before anyone reaches for the easy outrage, this is not about attacking people on benefits. That's the lazy take. That's the distraction. This is about the system. Because inside that 334 billion, 178 of it, 178 billion per year is state pensions. So you know what's going to happen. I haven't got mine yet. I'm a few years away from it. They're going to hack away at that. They're going to stop your kids and your grandkids from ever getting a state pension when my generation, our generation, and maybe the youngers. But once these generations die off, they'll stop it. So 178 billion of 334 billion is state pensions. Triple lock's going to go. I think Farage might get rid of it. So that's not, state pensions are not welfare in the way the word gets thrown around. That's a demographic time bomb. That's longevity meeting a shrinking workforce. Fewer workers, more retirees, bigger obligations. But remember, the MPs all get their pensions. So whatever level you reach in a Zempic Palace, whether you're just a backbench MP, whether you're some kind of minister or prime minister or anything, whatever office level you attain, that's your pension for the rest of your life until you snuff it. That's just gravity. It's not politics. They're greedy feggers, the politicians. But then politics walks in and pours petrol on it. Because yesterday, the government led by Keir Starmer scrapped the 2-child benefit cap. Scrapped it. So if you've been knocking kids out and trying to make ends meet and you've got 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 kids, your quid's in. Quid's in. Now, whatever your moral stance on that is, and there are arguments on both sides, I readily acknowledge, the timing is everything. You don't expand commitments on the same week you discover you can't afford the ones you've already got. And there's Robert Reeves. I'll guarantee you she stands up for the spring budget and then does our knees again and then goes for the middle classes. Oh, yeah, you can support everybody on Benefit Street. Thanks very much. And you can't have kids because you can't afford them. That's because you're paying for every fucker else. So I would say that's not compression. It's more, especially for Robert Reeves, Rachel from accounts, that's arithmetic denial. And here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. If welfare exceeds income tax, then income tax alone no longer funds the state. So where does the rest come from? Borrowing, debt. And that, Gordon Brown, that inept, the Labour Party, Blair, Brown, Starmer, all of them, they borrow us into debt. And then future taxpayers, your kids and your grandkids, who haven't even been born yet, this is not about economics. This is about intergenerational transfer, the transfer of wealth. And if the skirmish in Iran goes on, it will be the biggest transfer of wealth, bigger than COVID. So this benefits, pensions. It's about an intergenerational transfer on a scale we've never seen before. And once that wheel starts turning, it's very hard to stop. Because any politician who tries to reverse it will be painted as cruel. So they'll send you up the chimneys. You'll have 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Because as someone once said, the working man and or woman is greedy. So you'll have to have 2 jobs to make ends meet, just to put food on your table. And those inept crooks in a Zempic palace are shafting you every which way. And not only that, they're going to borrow. Who are they borrowing from? The banks. Oh, if they're borrowing from banks, who's the banks? Central banks. Oh, so the Rothschilds, the banking people, not only do they want central banks and central banks' digital currencies, they want you in debt for the rest of your life. So you will be scratching about in the dirt, eating bugs and shit just to put food on your table. Welcome to a world you never expected to be surviving, never thriving. And then digital IDs. I've been crowing about this for bloody months and months and months since these crooks got into power. So not only will you not have food on your table, you'll be doing 2 jobs. And I'm not trying to scare you, because you've got the opportunity. May the 7th. Do not believe a word that comes out of a fucking politician's mouth. Not one of them. They're all corrupt. Don't you understand that? They're fucking corrupt. They don't care about you. Fucking die. They don't care. Are they going to do the right thing? Don't be stupid. So the path of least resistance is always the same. Any government that tries to cut welfare will face revolt, because the sheeple will go, what they're doing? What about me benefits? Get off your fat lazy ass and go out and work. Well, I need 2 or 3 jobs to equal what I'm getting from the benefit system. The politicians spend more, borrow more. Hope growth saves you. That's going to be their mantra over the next 20 to 30 years. Spend more, borrow more. Hope growth saves you. And that's what they're setting Farage up for. The political classes want him to fail. It's the political evil classes that are doing you, your knees, and your family's knees, and your community knees. That's why they're doing it. And I can't even fucking speak properly now. I'm that angry. Robert Reeves, Rachel from accounts, her fiscal policies, and any growth, it doesn't arrive on command. So what are we actually looking at? Let's be realistic. Let's be strategic at what we're looking at. We're looking at a country where work is taxed heavily, support is expanding rapidly, and the gap between the two, it's widening. That gap is this story. Not the headline, not the gap. Not the benefits cap, the gap. Not the headline, the gap in between the two. Work taxed heavily. Support expanding rapidly. I can't get a penny out of the state. Not a single solitary penny. Oh, they're just getting the money then. We know who. They're buying the votes. Because, look, once the system tips far enough, it stops being a safety net and becomes the main structure. Bloody hell, the O'Buffalo must have sworn a lot tonight. I do apologise. But it riles me. It really riles me. So that safety net is going to go soon. It'll become the main structure. Now, remember this, because the reason why I've said all of this is to bring you to this. The World Economic Forum, the Chinese Communist Party. You will own nothing and be happy. So what they're going to do is they want you reliant on the state. They want you reliant on the state for your housing, for your food, for your clothing. It's the communist way. They want you equal, but in communism, some men are more equal than others. And that's why they're doing it. You won't just have an economic problem. You will have a cultural one, a philosophical one, a question of what the country is, and we're already asking that question, and what it rewards. So it doesn't matter which political party gets into power, the state still has control. And the state will have control over you, because if you dissent, your house will be taken away from you. You'll be homeless. You won't get any food. You won't be, because of the digital ID, you won't be allowed to buy anything at the shops. So the Eastern Bloc countries that freed themselves from communism and oppression, do you think they're going to stay in this country? They had enough of that for 50 years. You see, this is not a moment. This is a direction of travel. And I'm just trying to alert you and bring you to a realization that we need to bandy together. The human spirit, it's never going to be conquered. But the people in power that have designed all this and are implementing all this, they're fucking evil. And this is not an evil where we're going to fight a religious or ideology war. We're not. Because I've said to you, if I was Charles the Weak and it was my government, I would say to them, if you don't, it's a bit like being a director of a company. If you don't act in the best interests of the company, you're barred from being a director of a company. So these MPs, if they're not acting, including the Prime Minister and all the crooks that sit on the front bench, if they're not doing their work for the benefit of the greater good in this country, they need to be stopped from being a politician. And all the money that they've grifted, if we haven't got enough money, all those billions that we're short, take the money off the politicians. The thieving bastards need to give the money back that they've grifted whilst they've been an MP, all of it, and give it to the people who need it, not on benefits, the people paying taxes. In the words of the great Chinese philosopher, fuck 'em. So you and I are now staring at the point where the balance is broken. Whether you realise it or not, this is a direction of travel. It needs to be stopped. We can't means test it anymore. Because people will crow, they'll whine, they'll go, you can't do that. Now look, disability benefits, I absolutely categorically understand that. And pensions, if you've put into the, I mean, I've done 40 years, so I'm allowed an enhanced pension when I get there, if I get there, if I don't die of a heart attack. That's my reward. But those that are just sitting on their fat ass watching, it used to be watching Jeremy Kyle. doing that with their life and calling it a life, not living an intentional life. Dear God. So, couple of questions. Only 4 or 5 minutes more. Comic Mania, that's funny. We'll have to start stealing from the shops. There's Marks and Spencer's. I mean, who's nicking their knickers? They're saying to the government, oi, do something about this shoplifting. We can't do anything. And now Sainsbury's are offering their security stab vests. What? This is madness. This is utter madness in this country. But for the jibber jabber, they were going to put the fucking army on the streets. Remember that? And there's the cops. How are they going to police society now? It's just going to... and these politicians who were sitting there going, oh, we'll sort it. No, oh, well, yes, so long as you're making fucking money from it. So I'm going to ask you a question. NB Media. Hello, Adrian. Sorry I'm late. Oh, you've missed the best bits. So I'm going to ask you a question. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Do you believe the United Kingdom, the Great Britain, can sustain welfare spending at this level for long term? Do you believe the United Kingdom, Great Britain, can sustain welfare spending at this level long term? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. So Comic Mania, NB Media, good to have you in the body of the Kirk NB Media. Lewis and the Bovril and Gribbo and Reg D, everybody's saying no. Elliot, Vixtex. Andrew James is a bit more prescient. We're fucked and buggered. Hopefully not at the same time, Andrew James. Garen Davis and Zach and Ollie. Stephen Hall, Fatal Racing Driver. Peter Rees-Jones, absolutely not. 2. Billy Solix and Billy Wright. Paulie Galtieri. The Bad Wolf Project, Matt Whedon, Lauren Taylor, Tom Harneys, everybody, Ian McGee, Oval Raw, Amalia, Stuart, Nicky Watson, Lionel, Legalister, David Graham, everybody is saying no. So if I've missed your name off, I do apologise. I've got a couple of other questions. So, a really obvious question. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Should governments reduce welfare spending to rebalance the public finances? Should governments reduce welfare spending to rebalance public finances? Remembering what I said, if the state does that, they're going to be viewed as cruel, but it's 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Quite a few. I mean, Frida Hallworth saying no, and I understand that. Geordie Nicholas, no. Fight for Self. Enver says, 1, of course it can. Rachel Reeves has a magic money tree. I nearly said something that legally would be quite reprehensible there, but I managed to curt my tongue. Dave Warrington says no. Gribbo, Clywyd Piven strategy, it's been designed to fail. Of course, Gribbo, I'm so glad you brought the Clywyd Piven strategy up. We did that ages ago. About 9 months ago. In the Field says 2, but it will continue because Labour are always smart with our money. Yeah, in their trouser pockets, not ours. Thieving bar stewards. The Bad Wolf Project says Waitrose security guard sacked for stopping shoplifter outside store. Why would he be sacked for stopping somebody thieving? It's illegal. Makes no sense. Angelic Inspirations, Gary Shabot, Steve Barnes, Andrew James, William Commons and Albert Medcalf, and I've done Angelic and Mad Matt UK. So thank you for all your, NB Media, Comic Mania, Bad Wolf Project, Billy Solix. Cool, blimey. Andrew James says, massive TVs are cheap as chips now in supermarkets. Lauren Taylor, stores used to have store detectives. Police had designated shop squads. All worked as teams and were in constant communication with each other. Doesn't exist now. I mentioned last night on the live about steaming, which was something that I knew on trains and underground, where the kids, the feral kids, would just run the full length of the train, taking watches and robbing people at knife point. That was called steaming. Now they've said, oh, the kids are steaming again. Geordie Nicholas, there's an elephant in the room nobody's talking about. Go on then. You know, I'm not afraid to mention it. Go on then. Bad Wolf Project dismissed from his job after 17 years for trying to stop the theft of Easter eggs. Oh, man. The Umarian meme says, managed decline. Amalia. Thank you, Amalia. Ian McGee. It's illegal to stop thieves. I mean, once the kids know that, they'll just be like, oh, I need a new pair of trainers. Boof, in you go. Wasn't it one of the sports stores the other day where they were steaming through? I mean, what do you do? Do you become a hero and actually try to stop it? Or do you end up getting stabbed? Teachers and the like. Just trying to stop kids fighting. End up getting knifed to death. I mean... So thank you for all your... and that final question for tonight. This is the most contentious, I think. Geordie Nicholas might be mentioning this. Go on, Geordie Nicholas. The Bad Wolf Project. I wonder if Richard Madeley would get away with it today. Depends if he was carrying a knife or not. What was it, 4 bottles of wine? So I'm going to ask you one question while Geordie Nicholas types the elephant in the room. So I want 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know, the final question of the evening. Was scrapping the 2-child benefit cap the right decision right now? Beginning of April 2026. Was scrapping the 2-child benefit cap the right decision right now, considering what the OBR have just published? Cuban Pete, Reg D, Tom Harney's and the Bad Wolf Project, the Umarian Meme and the Bovril, Gribbo, Stewart, Lewis, Andrew James, Matt Whedon, Vixtex, literally everybody, Man Matt UK, Bad Wolf Project, Labour, Welfare Party, NB Media, Ian McGee, Barry Wright, Oval Rule, Fatal Racing Driver, got everybody. Amalia and Albert, Medcalf and Stephen Hall and William Commons, everybody's saying no. So I will guarantee you that you are not the only people to disagree with this. I mean, look, if you're going to be given free handouts and free money from a government, you're not going to turn around and go, no, I'll do the right thing. No, I won't take it. Of course you're going to take it. You're going to take the housing and you're going to take the whatever benefits. You're going to get universal credit and pension credits and all that. You're just going to take it all. But there was not one person in the responses to that question said yes. The question I asked was scrapping the 2-child benefit cap the right decision right now? 100%. But I'll leave the final comment to Lewis, who says, can't afford them, don't have them. Go back to shagging goats. Yeah, as Des says, you will own nothing and they will be happy. They want you reliant on the state because they've designed digital ID and all of the infrastructure to keep you controlled. This is 2026, man. Remember UN, Agenda 2030? They want you controlled. So you can't say anything. Can't say anything on social media. You can't do anything. I mean, you can go robbing shops. You can go thieving and shoplifting. You won't get done for that. And the feral kids dressed in black. I said to you when I was in Turkey, it is the translation of the word Turkey, meaning tribe that wears black. Because everybody in bloody Turkey was wearing black. There's me, like a fucking peacock. I didn't care. Laughed at them. The old Bovril, very prescient. The shops will be empty and you will be happy. Gribbo, I agree with Gribbo. Reward working people, more kids, less tax. Benefits, 2 kids, end of. Oh, there's the bloody Chinese. Even the Chinese said, no. Well, a couple of house bricks, bang. Yeah, sphericals are not spherical shape anymore. You can't have more than 1 or 2 kids. But that always used to be the thinking in this wonderful country, the Great Britain. We're not going to overtax you. Work hard. Enjoy life. Now it's completely reversed. So thank you to everyone who joined the Body of the Kirk this evening. Interesting night, I believe. So thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, and please, if you're still in the Body of the Kirk, smash the likes on our way out. Not like wiping your feet on the way out, but smash the likes if you could, because it just tells the algorithm that there's something being going on here that other people need to know about. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, your indulgence. Wherever you go, whatever you do, don't forget your emergency Battenberg. It's always worth keeping some on you, and you can take the rest of the altar wine. I'm not in the mood to start gargling that, so take it with you if you want. And next live is Wednesday, 7:15 for Parish Notes, 7:30 for the start. And be well, stay safe in this chaotic world. Don't forget the Zeitgeist Barometer. It's there just to kind of pick up where you're at in this chaotic world. And we'll bring clarity to the chaos again on Wednesday, starting at 7:30. And remember, this might have been live 3:10 on the Theatre of the Mind. It's not a live. It's a mission. The mission for truth, clarity in the chaos. And the mission continues 7:30 Wednesday. Look after yourself. I'll see you Wednesday.